What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 17 of the Off the Dribble podcast. Here with my co-host Aashrith, and today we're just going to be talking a little bit about Team USA. They just beat Serbia yesterday in a thrilling victory to move on to the gold medal game in the Olympics, and we're also just going to be we've just been doing some fun little segments just to keep you guys entertained until the season starts. So we have a newer one today. So we'll just get right into it and start off by talking about Team USA.
It was an interesting game,
Yeah.
right? Like we were just watching as like a family, and I wasn't really paying attention because it's Serbia, right?
Yeah.
Like we don't really think besides Jokic, and I didn't really know that Bogdanovic played for them, but they had him too. I thought they were just gonna be like kind of like they'd be around for the first quarter, but
Yeah.
like we kind of pull away later. But they gave us a tough battle for like three and a half quarters. It was a really close game. They had a couple shooters. This one lefty wouldn't miss. I forgot his name.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I mean,
He,
he had like two or three in a row.
yeah, it was crazy. Bogdan was just talking trash to Melo. Put the three to the dome. That was crazy. But I mean, we knew what would happen in the
Yeah.
end. Like the three oldest players, the three players that like were trying to win this Olympics for LeBron, KD, Steph.
Yep.
In the last 6 minutes, only they scored.
Yeah,
And
literally.
and they brought us home. Embiid obviously had the low run. He had the low 9-0 run to kind of like put us back in the game, but it was LeBron's passing, Steph's shooting, KD's clutch scoring, got us the job done, and now we're against France.
Yeah. Yeah, just like you were saying, like I saw a stat. It was like all like the young players on people under the age of like 35 or something. They scored like total of like 14 points or something
Exactly.
like that, 15 points, and then like you said, you Steph, amazing game. He had 36, I think,
Yeah.
one away from tying Melo's record for
Yeah.
the most points in an Olympic game.
That would have been so cool if
Yeah,
he
that would
tied
have
it
been
for Melo.
crazy. That would have been insane. But then yeah, KD's clutch shots. You say he's telling Melo, literally telling Melo. Melo was telling everyone, bro, like get out of the way, let him do his
Let
thing.
KD
Like
cook.
yeah, let him cook, and then he cooked.
Yeah.
That was a heavily contested shot too, bro.
But I had no
Yeah,
doubt.
I knew it was going in.
No
As soon
doubt.
as he released it, I was like, yeah, he got to his spot and it's gonna go in. But yeah, now they play France, but yeah, Bogdanovic played really well though. It was
He played incredible. He's probably
yeah
their best player. Better
yeah
Jokic, obviously, but he's
better than
probably the second
Jokic.
best player.
It's interesting to see how like role players or players who are like decent in the NBA like go off, but when they play overseas, like Dennis Schroeder when he's on Germany, like
That's what I was gonna say.
he's their best player. Like he turns into Kobe when
He's
he's playing.
different.
Yeah, he's insane.
Patty Mills, that's
Yeah, when he's
another
on
one. Patty Mills is
Australia,
on
yeah,
yeah,
Patty Mills goes on crack when he's with
I
Australia.
know.
But now USA plays France, and they have to play France against Wemby and Gobert, and they have two 7-footers that France usually plays. And then last game, France, they only played Wemby in the starting lineup, and
Last two
apparently,
games, yeah.
last two games. But
Yeah.
apparently, Gobert had finger surgery, and then apparently
No one
his
else
coach
knew.
came out and then said that he didn't have finger surgery and it was for matchup reasons. So you think France is gonna do the same thing against the U.S.?
Well, yeah, I think that's the smartest thing to do.
Mhm.
Like I like the Wemby Gobert lineups, like they're cool to look at, but I
Yeah,
think having Wemby as that sole rim protector is a little better. What shocked me is that I thought they'd play Wemby and Gobert on and off. Like I thought it was gonna be like a split sort of thing where like Gobert come when Wemby's tired and Wemby might
yeah,
close the game for his shooting. But no, they just don't play Gobert at all. Like 2 games ago he got like maybe 30 seconds. Last game he got like 5 minutes for rebounding purposes. Like like a four-time defensive player of the year and he's getting done dirty. But I think I think this should be an easier game than the Serbia game was. I know France doesn't necessarily have the shooting that Serbia has,
yeah.
but Yabusele or whatever, he's going
He's going
crazy.
off.
They have a guy named Cordnier or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah Cordnier, I think his
Fournier,
name.
yeah,
He's their best shooter.
yeah.
He's been going
And
crazy.
then
He
you have like Fournier that can like come in and
hit a half-court shot
finish
apparently. That should piss me off. It's so upsetting. But I feel like every tournament the Team USA plays in, they have this sort of game, right? Like against Serbia, where like they go down and they come back. Like against I think '08 it was against Spain in the finals, where it was a close. They won by 11, but it was a close game.
Spain team is really
Exactly. I think this France team is like Wemby hasn't been playing well. Maybe he's gonna get that sort of game in, but we have the size to match up with Wemby.
good. Yeah,
And
easily.
like Embiid put 70 on him.
Yeah.
Like so, I think that's fine. But this should be a comfortable 10 to 15 point win, I
Yeah.
think.
You say comfortable 10 to 15 point win, and then like you look at games like Serbia, and it
Yeah,
goes down straight to the
exactly.
wire. But like it's interesting to see how like you have such like a stacked Team USA team, and then they play games so down to the wire. Obviously, they come out victorious because they have like the closers and everybody on the team. Like you see the team come together. I feel like through the end of the game. Like in the beginning, you kind of see like the little bit lack of chemistry, like all of that, and then when they down, they kind of realize like, oh, we have 12 of the best players in the world in the same team. Like, why don't we actually like use everyone's strengths together and then go and play our own game? So that's what they kind of do. But do you think that there's any sort of chance that like France could steal gold from Team USA, or you think it's just like a confirmed like as long as Curry doesn't shit the bed or something like that, or as long as like Katie or one of Katie or Curry come to play, like then USA is set.
Even if they don't, like there's so many options.
Yeah.
Like we have LeBron, and didn't really play well last game, but we have him too. Embiid, we even before saying KD and Steph's name, we have 3 to 4 guys we can even look to that can take the scoring load. It was Steph last game. LeBron's been the sort of consistent force that gets you like 15 to 20 points, gives you like 8 to 10 assists, etc. But like KD can go off. They can bring maybe they can play Tatum for once. Like there's so many options that Team USA has. I just don't see a way unless Wemby has 40 that like France can get the job done.
Yeah. So you don't think that like even like with do you think France would have a better chance of winning if they just stick to Wemby in the center and not keep Gobert in?
Yeah.
Okay, so like yeah, and then going back to the Tatum thing, like with the so many scoring options coming off winning a championship, we already talked about it a little when he got benched the first time, but he's not playing. So like, what do you think the whole thing going on with that is?
Like this is so crazy. Like when's the last time you like in life you can remember like an all NBA first team player being disrespected like this? Like I was watching something on TV yesterday and like someone was like talking to Michael Redd
Yeah.
and he was talking about I think he was on the '08 team,
Yeah.
but like no one talks about it because he didn't really play.
Yeah.
But he says like Tatum shouldn't really care because when people ask Michael Redd about like the '08 championship, they don't say, "Oh, you didn't play for that." They say, "Oh, you got gold."
Got gold,
Yeah. So, but like my rebuttal to that, I guess, will kind of be like, is Michael Redd the level of player Jason Tatum is? Like, I just don't think so.
Yeah.
Like, people are going to remember this for a while. And if Tatum doesn't play, then like, will he come back in 28? Like, will superstars want to come, like, knowing that, like, they might not be featured? Like, this is one of those players that we were discussing before the tournament started as, like, oh, like, he's going to start, but who's going to start around him? But he's not even getting playing time. He's with Tyrese. Like Tyrese is just happy to be there, but like we didn't think that Tatum's gonna be the happy to be there people.
Yeah.
He looks pissed off on the bench.
He does.
So I don't know. What do you think?
I don't, and then like you may brought up an interesting point of like players not wanting to like in the future because I see you saw Embiid just like publicly say just like he's like who knows like maybe when the Olympics take place in LA like I might not even be playing for like Team USA like what's going on there you're ring chasing in the Olympics is crazy first win a ring in the NBA and then try going to win gold like come on now that's you got to have your priorities straight there but this is like I've been seeing this a lot because we're on the Team USA topic, kind of moved away from them playing France. On for 2028, if you have there's 12 spots on the roster. What are like 6 guaranteed spots you think are going to be on the roster in 2028?
Like you gotta put like, I mean,
Do you think that Tatum would be on that spot? And if he's on that spot at that point, 4 years down the road, he would be a starter and would actually get playing time?
he's saying no, bro. He's 100% saying no. They're gonna offer. Like you can't not, right?
Yeah.
But like you give Steph a call, you give like those people a call, but like Ant's gotta play. Obviously, Ant's gonna be the best player, and like you got like you're gonna get like Chet Holmgren, like you're gonna get like that kind of like that age of like stars like Paolo, like those John Morant, Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell. Like you have so many players that like can play that even if Jason Tatum says no, just get Jalen Brown. Like just get the Finals MVP, get the other all the MVPs, right? So I think while he's being disrespected, like quote unquote, like I don't think Team USA is gonna suffer too much if Jason Tatum doesn't play in 2028, and like he doesn't have like really that much leverage in the situation of like oh like I want to play because I'm like that guy. But in, like the past, like in the playoffs, he wasn't good. Like he wasn't that good. Maybe if he came off like a more strong, like more solidified playoff performance, they'd probably be more like open to playing him more. But I don't know. What do you think?
I feel like you said, like with his experience right now, like it looks like he's not happy. Like people are like crashing out from it. From people,
Bro,
his mom's crashing out on Twitter. Like
TV is crashing out, bro.
you have like people close to him. Like they're expressing his like not his disingenuine interest in playing right now. So like I don't really think he would want to come back unless he's given the like confirmed like yeah you're gonna have a starting role on the team before he even like commits to it. But to answer the question that I asked, I would probably have Ant at that point in time would he's be 27 at that point. You're gonna be yeah. That's kind of dude. It's crazy to say how like you're seeing him play right now, and we're talking about in 4 years he's gonna be in his prime, and how his prime isn't right now is insane. And then I think him and I think D-Book is also a lock as well. D-Book will kind of be like that veteran presence on the team because he already won gold once.
Yeah.
He's
27, I think.
28 or 29. He's same age as Cat.
Okay, so he'll get 33 then. Okay.
Yeah, 33. So that's like the veteran presence you need on the team. Go for his third gold if they win the second. If he wins the second this year, I think Josh should be a lock for the team. I think Chet should be a lock as well because you need bigs and size. Paulo, Bam.
Bam, 100%.
Yeah, I think Bam. I think like players that are locks are Book, Bam, Book, and Ja.
Yeah, and just say Cooper Flag right now. Cooper Flag's a lock too.
I mean, yeah, Cooper Flag if he pans out the way that his hype's going right now, so I mean he's a lock as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's some Team USA talk for the day, and probably touch on it a little bit more during our next episode after the gold game happens. When is the gold?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. So next we're gonna go into a little fun segment just to kind of do a second part of the pod today. And what we're doing now is for the next couple episodes, for the second half, is we're gonna be doing a tier list for the top 12 people at like certain positions. So we're gonna do point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, centers. We might just do like wings instead of like power forward, small forward because that's what they do nowadays. It's kind of confusing. But yeah, so today we're gonna do point guards, and we're gonna start off with top 12, going from 12 to 1, and we're gonna rank them in tiers from C, B, A, S. Obviously, S being best, then A, B, C. So you can start from 12 and then give me who is in your C tier.
Yeah, we'll go like 3 players a tier, obviously.
Yeah, 3 players a tier because we're doing a top 12 and there's 4 tiers.
All right, so there's some there are a lot of from when I started doing this list, I realized there's a lot of really good point guards.
Yeah,
like this is probably
I think point guard is like one of the very like congested positions.
It's a deep position. Like there are a lot of players which you're gonna see like, oh my god, like he didn't make the list. But I feel like at this tier especially, it gets down to like personal preference and like who you think is a better player, etc. Right? So at 12, I have Cade. I think Cade Cunningham. This is probably my hottest take of the pod because you're gonna see some names or one name in particular that didn't include. But I think Cade Cunningham belongs in the sort of 12 spot. We'll discuss after you get your 3. But I got 12 Cade Cunningham, 11 I got Tyrese Maxey, and at 10 I got Damian Lillard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I like that. That's a pretty good ranking for the C tier. And like even though we're saying C tier, they're not like actually C tier. These are like the tiers from like because we're only doing the top 12, so they're the worst of the top 12. So don't take C tier like to heart like that.
Yeah, these are like borderline to like
all stars. Yeah, basically, yeah. So one player I didn't have on my list was Cade.
Yeah,
and yeah, and I don't know if you have there's another player on this tier that I had that I don't know if you have higher on your list. I'm not too sure, but 12 might surprise you. I have James Harden.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you really look at it, this year like Harden wasn't like terrible. He played his role on a Clippers team that already had 2 really good scorers, so he wasn't meant to be that number 1, number 2 option. And he put up 17 points, 8.5 assists, 9 assists a game, and 5 rebounds.
Yeah.
And he's kind of taken that backseat role of being a facilitator. And you like to see the 9 assists to 2 turnovers per game ratio. That's a really good ratio. And when he's on the floor, you see like that's kind of what you need. You need somebody that can get the ball to your best players, but at the same time, when your best players aren't playing well, or when your best players aren't on the floor, like Kawhi Leonard and Paul George aren't half the time, you can try and go get your buckets, even though you're not going to get it as efficiently as you did before. Okay. But I still think he affects a team to put him in the top 12.
Hard to even come to my mind. All right,
yeah.
What's your 11?
So my 11 is Jamal Murray.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a name I didn't have on my list.
Yeah, you didn't have Jamal. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think probably what holds Jamal back in general from being an all-star is his health. Like he's never healthy for consecutive like stretches of games where he's playing good. Like he'll have like 2, 3 games where he's good, then he'll go down with injury, be out for a week or two, then come back, play okay for another like a month, and it takes him time to get readjusted. So I feel like when he's healthy, he could be a top 10 point guard in the league. Like he's so good. You saw what he did in the playoffs.
Bro,
Two
we can't keep saying this.
Okay, I know that, but you can't keep saying this. What did he do in the bubble? Like I don't care if people are saying like there's no fans in the bubble
What
like
did
this
TJ
and that.
Warren do in the bubble?
Okay, TJ Warren is like the obsolete like of like the he's at the end of the spectrum on that part. Like you got players like even Donovan Mitchell really showed what he could do as well.
Yeah.
So like when he's super healthy, he could be a really good player, and he's the perfect addition next to Jokic. Like he plays his position so well on his team that he just like fits into that like right creeping into that top 10. And then my 10 is Dame.
Okay.
Yeah.
10 Dame.
Dame is like
makes sense.
yeah, makes sense.
Honestly, like at this point, it's out of respect to like what he's achieved.
Yeah, he's
but-
also like you saw moments this
Yeah,
past
of course.
season where he's
That game against the Kings where he pulled
Yeah.
like that was crazy. But like I think the most glaring one for me is probably Cade.
Yeah.
So, but
the most glaring one is definitely the hardest.
yeah, but I like Cade a lot. Like last season, he averaged like 24, 7, and 6 on 45, 35, 85. That's pretty solid. And on a Pistons team that like doesn't necessarily have like anybody.
Yeah.
Like they had Jaden Ivey, but they don't play him. Like they didn't come off the bench.
They need to start him.
Yeah, they're gonna start him now for sure, 100%. And they have Jalen Duren, who's solid, and they have Ron Holland coming in. He's gonna be a solid prospect. They have Asar Thompson. They have a lot of players.
Young,
and
very, very young players.
Like in theory, like they should make the play in with that roster, but they won't. But they should make the play in with that roster. Exactly. But I like Cade a lot. I think if we're looking projecting, I think he has a chance to be an all-star this season. Their first all-star since Blake, I think.
Yeah.
And
That's crazy.
I know. And he's one of the best passers in basketball.
Yeah.
Truly, he's like
He is very.
he carved us up. Like we had one game where we lost to the Pistons where he took the game over. So I think maybe that's also a little bias for me from watching. I don't watch too many Pistons games, obviously.
Yeah.
But the times I do see him, he's going crazy. So we'll begin now with the B tier. This sort of tier, I think, for me, it's a little self-explanatory, but I want to see where you have certain players. I know there's one player that you like a lot more than I do in this tier. So the first in the B tier, I have Kyrie Irving.
Okay.
I have De'Aaron Fox right above him, and right above him is the player I think you like a lot, but I have Trae Young right here.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. That's not
Yeah.
bad. So for my B tier, this would be 9. I have Trae Young.
Yeah.
Put him like probably a little lower than like I thought I would
That's
want to put him.
shocking, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking.
Okay.
At 8 I have Kyrie Irving, and then at 7 I have De'Aaron Fox.
So same players.
Same
Okay.
players, just kind of different or just a
Yeah.
little different
Okay.
order. Yeah.
Wow.
I just like
You have Fox over Trae.
Yeah.
Okay.
I value like I really like Trae. Like he's a great shooter, great passer, perfect like kind of lob threat passer. If you put a good center with him that can kind of like just catch lobs and do things like that.
Mhm.
Great pick and roll player, like prototypical point guard that can drop 30 on you any given
Mhm.
night. It's just like I value defense a lot, right?
Yeah.
So like his offense outshines his defense and it kind of like helps him a little.
Mhm.
But like even like Kyrie's not an outstanding defender, but like he can still kind of defend a little bit.
More than Trae Young.
More than Trae Young, obviously. You saw it in the playoffs too.
Yeah.
Kyrie was kind of doing what he can.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox, like he's quick enough to kind of like
Mhm.
do what he can. Like they're all like smallish, but they're better defensively than Trae. Like, they're not like full on liabilities on defense. Like when you have Trae on your team, your defensive game plan is to hide his defensive weaknesses. It's to make sure that he has to put in minimal effort on defense so he can do what he can on offense. So like I love him, but just like as like an overall player wise and just like fully just looking at every part of the game, that's why I have him at 9.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Oh damn! I put Trae Young at 7, thinking that you're gonna have him at like top 5. Okay, because so all my notes on Trae Young is like slandering him. I was like, yeah, he's all right, but like he averaged 11 assists, but he's so bad on defense. Like he's I think he's one of those players who's gonna go down like in the future when he retires. Like, why didn't we respect him that much? Because they're gonna see like 27 points a game, 11 assists, 26 points a game, 11 assists. Like his numbers are so crazy. Like looking like just on Basketball Reference, if you just look at his numbers. But like I don't want to sound like the person that's like if you watch the games, but like if you watch basketball, it's like you know that like there are certain players that impact the game less than what their numbers say. And in my opinion, Trae Young's one of them. Like I don't respect the way he plays basketball. I don't like that move where he backs into the defender and like jumps up in the air. I don't like that. But damn, I also thought that you wouldn't have Kyrie Irving that high either. I thought like that was a little bit of a hot take, but you also had Harden like weirdly six.
Low key, what I could do because I kind of took a peek at like your list a little, and there's someone I really
Yeah, I noticed a name. There's a crazy name that you forgot.
That I forgot.
Yeah.
So, like maybe John can take that spot. Don't hate on me for forgetting about John. I don't know how I forgot about John. It's because bro didn't play for a whole season. Okay, that's all.
All right, let me, because let's just move on to the next tier right now, right? Because this is where I have Ja. But we had a whole argument 2 episodes ago where he took Ja over Jalen Brunson, and so here's tier 2, and this is like the A tier, right? And I have Tyrese at 6, I have Ja Morant at 5, and I have Jalen Brunson at 4. And I think like after this, like the point guard rankings get pretty like sort of self-explanatory. But I'm assuming you have like there's one name which I mentioned earlier that you have. But
what I'm gonna do with my list is we'll move Harden at 13. So just say Harden's out of the top 12.
Nah, say your list, bro.
No, because I want to add Ja. I kind of have to add Ja on my list now. It's like it's not a top 12 without Ja. You can't put Ja in it. So we'll have Murray at 12, Dame at 11, Trae at 10, Kyrie at 9, Fox at 8, and then we'll put Ja at 7. I'll put Ja at 7.
Okay. So in the end, I won the argument, by the way, because he put Ja under Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, so that's still kind of crazy, yeah. All right, so in my next tier, I have Tyrese Maxey, Tyrese Halliburton, and then Jalen Brunson.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. Wait, Maxey's high.
Tyrese Maxey?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like Tyrese Maxey. Okay. He's kind of just like he's like a mini Ja in my eyes, like a really like a shifty player, but like he's a little bit less athletic, but makes up for it in his shooting. Like they're like both kind of smallish. They're just really fast to like the basket. They get to the basket really fast, and he's just like he's super clutch, bro. Yeah. Like, and he plays with like just like when you watch him play, he plays the game like he loves the game, bro. Like he looks like he's having fun. So like that's all, and just like. When he played it with that game against the Knicks, especially, I think it was game 5 when he made those 2 threes in like span of like 30 seconds. Like when you see a player do something like that, and you have like a player like Joel Embiid on your team, and you're still doing things like that, that's when you know, like, all right, yeah.
I honestly view Maxey as like in the same mold as Jamal Murray, where like I mean, I'm evaluating a player who's had like one like real season, but like that's also why I put him at 11 because I wanted to see a little more. But he has moments of like brilliance, like that game you just mentioned where he's going crazy, like Jamal Murray. Like Jamal Murray had that whole playoff run where he's like going crazy. But I'd like to see a season from both of them, or another season from Tyrese Maxey. He just had one where like he's start to end like consistent. Like 82 games have to matter at some point, right? And like I guess like the players at the top, like that S tier players, like we already know who the players are at this point. Yeah. Like they're like. The reason that they're who they are is because all 82, like they're giving you the same, and in the playoffs they can take it a step further. So I want to see Maxey kind of do that sort of like next sort of step where maybe like Embiid's gonna end up missing some games, we know. So I want to see him take over those games. I want to see him have like a consistent like 1 to 82 of like 25 points a game. Yeah. And if he can do that, then 100% he's gonna be top 5 even. Yeah. But like we should talk about Jalen Brunson a little bit. And like Tyrese Halliburton a little bit too.
I still think that like Ja is a better player than Brunson. I think Ja next season is gonna come out and just even though Brunson might have better like stats as in like scoring wise, I feel like just the hype of Ja coming back and like putting up like 26 points a game, like the hype is gonna be there and people are gonna realize like he's back. So like as a player, I still think Ja is there, but like when we're talking about like at the same time, you're also kind of talking about like in the NBA. Like that question when we did that debate was more of like basketball wise, who's the better basketball player? Like that's kind of what we were talking about. Like who would we rather take? But like on a team, I'd rather have Brunson. Like no questions asked. Just based off of like maturity wise and how you like you're affecting your team. Like technically the whole reason that the Grizzlies had such a bad season last year, you can blame it on Ja. Yeah. Like first 25 games of the season, you're out. They won, I think, like 5 games, that 20 games. Like instead of winning 5 games, if you played 20 of those games, you could have won like 12 of them and went 12-8, and you would have already been like in a play-in position. And then if you got hurt later on in the season, like okay, oh well, like but still from the start of the season, that's how like the rest of the season kind of goes. Like that, whatever you see from the start is what you see to the end. You don't see a team like change it crazily until like other than like maybe like the Warriors did it like that one season where Steph kind of took them from like 11 seed to an 8 seed to make the playoffs
Yeah.
to go into the play-in, but
Yeah.
they still lost.
Maybe like the Mavs.
Yeah,
this
and the
past
Mavs past season, but
season.
like
You don't see it too often.
exactly. So like if you're kind of because he's the reason his team like had such an unsuccessful season and they kind of wasted the season. Like I rather have Brunson even like base Jordan didn't even play last season, so still have Brunson there. And then Halliburton, like he's kind of going back to the role of like taking all these point guards that we kind of named. A lot of them are like score first. A lot they still put up crazy assist numbers, but their whole mentality is like I'm gonna put the ball in the basket. Halliburton's that is that guy like okay, I'm gonna set the offense or whatever my coach tells me to do on the offensive side of the game plan on the offensive side of the ball. I'm gonna initiate it. Like that 7 second offense they run, it all goes through him. He takes the ball past half court. He brings it up on all the fast breaks. He makes outlet passes, and then the possession starts from him. And then if they need a bucket, he's still there to give you a bucket. Like he can still shoot 37 and 39% from three. You saw him struggle a little bit in the playoffs, and then you saw him bring his game back. So I want to see him get a little bit more consistent from just like scoring wise in the playoffs, but in the playoffs, like his facilitating and assist numbers are always consistently there, and he rarely turns the ball over. The only turnover that like comes to my mind that was like fully on him was that steal that Holiday had on him, where he just completely ripped it apart from him and looked like he didn't know how to dribble the ball. But like perfect point guard, kind of like moving a generation back from what all these other point guards are doing. So I kind of like appreciate that. You're kind of like taking a step back and just kind of telling people like, all right, this is what the point guard role is meant to be.
One thing I wish that, like, selfishly, as like a person who likes scoring, like I wish Tyrese would do more often is like in those like sort of like
Yeah.
those big moments,
Yeah,
right? Like just take the game over. Mm-hmm. But like he's always looking for that pass, which I respect. But it kind of like reminds me of all the LeBron critique, where like you're always looking to make the best play, and it's probably like the right thing to do, like basketball wise. But I like players in that like Luca or like that sort of like Steph mold that like can just like take like a game over and like just like impact the game in more ways than just like setting people up. Because Luca can set people up too. But I hope that next evolution for Tyrese is kind of like that. Like he can get like 20 and 10, but like also like 25 and like 8.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think you guys already know who the next three guards are, and I think you guys know the order that we're probably gonna put them in. But 3 is Steph, 2 is Shea, and 1 is Luca.
Yeah. Same exact order.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really can't go wrong with those three. Yeah. Like Steph is what 35 years in age, still dropping almost 30 points a game, shooting crazy efficient from three, ball still shooting like 10 attempts a game, something like that. Still gonna have a great season next season. SGA, 25 years old, second in MVP voting. Only gonna get better on a led his team to a number one team. No one thought that they would do that last season. And then Luka, like the best player in the league.
Yeah.
It's him or Jokic, one of the other. And in my opinion, I think it's Luka. Like you said, like any one of those three players, when you turn the TV on and their team is down 10 or down 12 in the fourth quarter with 8 minutes, you still have a chance. Like if you're a fan of any one of those teams, even with the Warriors situation like right now, I kind of get the delusion of Warriors fans when they'll always be like, yeah, no, we're fine. Like top 4 seed, top 5 seed, we'll make the playoffs.
It's always in play, bro.
Yeah, like it's always in play because there's always potentially with his shooting, he can, who knows, maybe have another unanimous MVP season. It might happen. You never know. It could be his last one. Like whatever. Whatever. Like it's gonna be the same. But like they're three of the best point guards in the league, and all three of them are probably like top 10, top 12 players in the league as well. So
yeah.
2
of them might be top 5.
2 of them might be top 5. Yeah.
But and maybe we'll do that segment one day in the future. But I'll tell you right now, 2 of them are top 5.
Yeah.
But the thing with Shea is like you almost want him to shoot more.
Yeah.
Like there are games where like he'll let Dub do a little, he'll let Chat do a little, he'll even let Dort do a little. But like even for Canada, I don't know if this is like a coaching thing or whatever, not to like take it back to like the Olympics, but there were a lot of possessions where you just like Shea would be their only source of offense, but he'd still try to get RJ involved. He'd still try to get like Jamal Murray involved for some reason. Jamal Murray, maybe that's why I don't have him in the rankings honestly, because how bad he played in the Olympics. But um that's almost like the flaw with like Shea that I want from him as like a fan of his, that like in the fourth quarter he'll do his thing, but you almost want him to like take more shots to like, and especially the 31 point thing, like he can really get 50, bro. Like
Very easily.
yeah, but he just wants to play in the flow of the game, which I respect. And like I understand Warriors fans' allegiance. I understand Mavs fans. Like imagine like having that player. Like imagine having Luka on your team, like being able to root for him. Like
And then you throw a player with Kyrie like next to him too. Like he doesn't even have to play like amazing either.
it's so OD.
Yeah.
But Luka's, in my opinion, second best. In your opinion, the best player in the league. He's so different. He's on a path to be might be the greatest of all time.
Yeah. And don't like say like I'm glazing Luca. Like I hate
No, bro,
Luka.
it's not.
I'm the biggest Luca hater. As well. Like I'll praise Luca, but I'll hate him as well. Like I've ridiculed Luca. I've said some crazy things about Luca.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so those are both of our lists, and yeah, I think that's where we're gonna end off today's episode. We're definitely gonna be hopping back on Sunday for another episode. This episode was a little late. We were supposed to go on Wednesday, but we both had some things to do, so we did it today. And next episode, we're gonna give you an update. Hopefully, USA wins gold. Whatever happens, so like a Timberwolves player is gonna win gold, so I'll be
True.
true.
I forgot about that.
Yep. But not. Hope USA wins. And then we're gonna do top 12 shooting guards probably as well for our next segment, state tiers and everything like that. So yeah, stay tuned for more information and more insight on basketball and NBA.
Yeah.
And yeah, peace.
Peace.